on which poll you look at to see how Vice President Harris does against former President Trump in a head-to-head matchup. There are some surveys that show that she maybe does a little bit better than President Biden. There are some surveys that suggest that it's pretty much a dead heat. Thing is, it's all hypothetical until it actually happens and voters have a sense to process it.
And behind the scenes, Republicans have not made much secret of their desire to run against President Biden. But let's talk about here, Milwaukee, tonight. We're going to hear from President Trump, his first extended remarks since the attempt on his life. What are you expecting?
Savannah, this is a huge moment for former President Trump, arguably the most important political speech of his lifetime. It's also a huge potential opportunity. Think about it this way. Prior to that assassination attempt against his life, Americans who are skeptical of former President Trump might not have tuned into this event. That might be different tonight. He might get people tuning in, those gettable voters, that small sliver of the American electorate that might be curious, that might be feeling a little bit more engaged. So he has said that he's ripped up his speech, he's rewritten it, he wants to deliver a unifying message. The question is, what does unifying mean for former President Trump? We've interviewed Eric Trump. He acknowledges his dad's always going to be a counter puncher. That's never going to change. But will we see differences in his tone and his rhetoric? One other thing I'll be looking for, this gets to what Hallie was saying, how often does he name check Biden, and how often does he speak more broadly about his administration?
I'm wondering if you're going to hear more Kamala Harris than you might otherwise have.
Absolutely. We'll be looking for that and listening for that as well, Lester, because there's no doubt that you're seeing a two-pronged campaign start here. Of course, the ongoing one against President Biden, but with the pressure mounting on President Biden to drop out of this race, Republicans are turning their sights to the vice president.
And there's a difference between unity and the idea that, changing tone, so that we don't know what we're going to hear, a different tone, different words.
Absolutely. Let's just take a step back and think about where we started this campaign. Former President Trump facing 4 indictments. The big question was, would that be a drag on his political campaign? It only emboldened him in the primary, didn't stop him in the general, and now most of those legal battles have been delayed. So he addresses this convention, these Republicans, and the nation tonight coming from a very emboldened position.
Just after 9 o'clock East Coast time, we've been showing you images from the floor, including the actor Russell Brand mixing and mingling with the crowd. We expect J.D. Vance, the vice presidential nominee, to come in any moment. It's a party atmosphere. People are getting their boogie on, feeling very, very good about their prospects in November. I think a lot of us wondered what would be the tone here after this serious attempt on the former president's life, but it has been jubilant. The cheese indicates that is the delegation from Wisconsin. And I think we've got Tom Yamas down on the floor to give us a flavor. Tom, what are you seeing?
How are you doing tonight? I can tell you this is the most electric night so far. The energy level here has been through the roof for the last 3 or 4 hours, right? People have been on their feet dancing and singing. Way over there in the Texas delegation, they've been waving their 10-gallon hats all over the place. People have their signs.
I probably have to say something to make sure it's commentary.
Speaking, President Trump's career, former President Trump's career, in the beginning, they got a lot of knocks, right? Because essentially they said they didn't have a campaign. They've now done 3 conventions, right? 2 real ones, 1 virtual. This is the 3rd one, by far the best so far. The reason why I say that, they've had no drama. They've been completely unified. Everything has gone as planned, and it is somewhat of a random convention. We're going to hear from people, as you mentioned, like Hulk Hogan, right? We're going to hear Kid Rock. We had Amber Rose earlier in the week. But when you talk to Republicans, they say that is America, right? America is made up of a lot of different people. They wanted to show all those faces, and that the Republican tent is bigger. If that's true, we'll know in November. We don't know yet. They're going to have to convince a lot of voters if they want to get back to the White House. But they have been riding high for 2 reasons. One, former President Trump survived that horrific assassination attempt. He's come here. He looks like he's in good spirits. But 2, they love what they're watching on the news when it comes to Democrats. The Democrats in disarray. Usually it's Republicans in disarray. You'll remember 2016, even in 2020, the Never Trumpers. You don't even hear about those people anymore. I actually interviewed somebody here who was a congressional candidate. Donald Trump had endorsed the guy who was running against him. That guy won, and this congressional candidate still came here because he loved Donald Trump so much, even though he ended his political career. That's the type of adoration, if you will, that people have for former President Trump. And as you mentioned, there'll be a couple of surprises in the VIP box. Way in the back there, Melania Trump, who we have not seen a lot of on this campaign trail. The first time here tonight, along with Ivanka Trump and Jared. It's going to be an exciting night. It's going to be a great night of politics. Savannah, back to you.
All right. Tom, was hard to catch that we're ROCKing in the USA here pretty loudly, but I think we've got Jacob Soboroff on the floor for us, and they had a quick interchange with the former president himself. Hey, Jacob.
Hi, Savannah. Hi, Lester. Good evening to you guys. Just a few minutes ago, under former President Trump's box, he walked out ahead of his speech this evening. I had a chance